Hi there, we will go on discussing morphology today. In our previous class we defined morphology simply in terms of the form of a word. We will now go deeper into our analysis of morphology, and we will not simply state that it's about the form of a word, or more specifically we will be more precise regarding what we mean by the form of a word. We're going to say that words are made up of constituents. More specifically, we will say that words are made up of free and bound morphemes. That is, free morphemes can stand on their own, bound morphemes need to be attached. Free morphemes are typically also called roots. And the relationship that there exists between the free morpheme and the bound morpheme, given that the bound morpheme is an attachment, the relationship is number one, hierarchical, number two, rule governed, number three, structural. So let us start with the word eat. Eat is a verb, it's a root, it's a free morpheme. To the free morpheme eat, we can attach a bound morpheme and make up the term eatable. So from the verb eat, we can get to the adjective eatable by means of the attachment of the suffix able. Notice that when we move from the verb eat to an adjective eatable, we're switching categories. We're creating categories. Derivational morphology, the attachment of free and bound morphemes determines word category. It may change the category or it may keep the same category. However, it will always determine category. So again, eat, eatable, we get a verb, we get a suffix, and from the verb we make up an adjective. Now if we attach the prefix uneatable, that is impossible to be eaten, we're going to get a whole other adjective. Notice that we have not changed the category. We go from verb to adjective, verb, adjective, adjective. However, we're not changing, but we are determining category. This is what we call derivational morphology. Why do we need a category like derivational morphology? Because there is a whole other type of morphology that is called inflectional. Inflectional morphology makes reference to the fact that to some roots, to some free morphemes, we can attach some bound morphemes that will not determine word category. Think of agreement, inflections, think of the attachment of ER or EST for comparative and superlative, attachments to adjectives in that case, think of number, okay? Plural S that attaches to a noun. So we have three different types of inflections. For the time being, we're going to discuss those three, and we're going to say that like is a verb, and likes is also a verb that is made up of a root morpheme and a bound morpheme, but in this case the bound morpheme or S is attaching to the verb and is not determining category, is complying with a whole other rule of the grammar that states that third person singular goes this way. If we say she likes it. Okay, so in inflectional morphology we're going to be talking about agreement, number and comparison. Let's think of an adjective, big, and we go for the comparative and superlative forms, bigger and biggest. Last but not least, let us think of a noun like book, where we will go for books. There is an attachment here, a bound morpheme that represents plural number. So we will be talking about inflectional morphology when we add this specific grammatical notions, again, agreement, number, comparison for verbs, nouns, adjectives, but we do not determine category. So derivational morphology determines category, and inflectional morphology will let us know that verbs comply with agreement requirements and that nouns take plural forms, or that adjectives may take comparative and superlative forms. But again, with inflectional morphology, we do not determine category. I have said this repeatedly because it's very important to keep this distinction in mind. Let us take another example. Let us take the adjective unsuitable. The adjective unsuitable is made up of a root or free morpheme, suit, which is a verb. The suffix able will attach to the root. There is the bound morpheme will attach to the root to form the adjective suitable. To this combination, we can attach the prefix un to form the adjective unsuitable, something that is not suitable. So it's basically the opposite of suitable. So this is basically the derivation. So we go from suit, suitable, and then we attach unsuitable. So there is an important reason why we should go for suitable and then unsuitable, and it's got to do with the fact that the formation of words is, again, rule governed. First we go for the verb, then we go for the suffix, and then we go for the prefix in this case, because that will determine the meaning of the word. That is, un does not attach to mean the prefix un does not attach to verb forms in this case. So let us take the term unzippable. Unzippable can have two different meanings. Let us analyze the first one. We get the verb zip, and then we get an attachment able, right? Suffix. So zip, zippable. From the verb we go to the adjective, and we're saying it's got the capacity of being zipped, zippable. If we attach the prefix and bound morpheme un, we're going to get another adjective that means impossible to be zipped. So unzippable. From zippable, verb plus suffix, we form an adjective, and then we attach un and we form another adjective, unzippable. So what we are saying, this is impossible to be zipped. Now, unzippable can have a whole other meaning, capable of being unzipped. If that is the case, we will go with a whole other derivation, a whole other tree diagram, and we will do the following. We will take the root, zip, and we will first attach the prefix, and we will say unzip. Here, un does not mean impossible, it means the reverse action. So from zip, we go to unzip. The verb zip gets an attachment, that is a prefix, un, and we make up, again, a verb. We form a verb, unzip. The reverse of zip. If to the word unzip we attach the suffix able, we form the adjective unzippable, but now we're saying capable of being unzipped. It's got a whole other meaning, a whole other derivation. So notice that we have two meanings. Therefore, the conclusion that we would draw is that different derivations in words that are ambiguous will be represented differently. Therefore, hierarchical representations of morphology, the way in which words are derived, have a lot to do with meaning. Basically, they convey different meanings. So, for different meanings, we will have different tree diagrams. So, the conclusion that we should draw here is that there are different label three diagrams or different representations or different derivations for the different meanings of the word unzippable. The word unzippable is then ambiguous and it requires two different representations. So far we have talked about derivational morphology and we have talked about inflectional morphology, the kind of morphology that will enable us to convey meanings that are related to agreement, number, comparison. There is a process called compounding whereby two root morphemes or two free morphemes can come together. Think of words such as bedtime. Where was the word ice cream? Ice cream used to be a phrase, iced cream. Then it became hyphenated, iced hyphen cream. And now it's become a word, an adjective, iced, and a noun, cream, have become a noun, ice cream. There is yet another case of compounding where we have two free morphemes, two root morphemes that come together. Think about words such as smog. Smog is called a blending. Why? Because the word smoke and the word fog, two free morphemes, have not only come together but have also been blended into a word smog. Another example of blending would be brunch. Breakfast and lunch. So if you got some meal between breakfast and lunch, we call it brunch. Two free morphemes come together and are blended into the word brunch. The last process that we will discuss is called conversion. It's really controversial whether conversion is part of morphology. Why? When we talk about conversion, we're thinking of, for instance, the word thought. That is the past participle form of the verb think, where we use the word thought not as a past participle verb, but as a noun. Thought can be converted into a noun. Conversion is a controversial process because there are no free and bound morphemes or free and free morphemes that come together to form a word. All we're saying is that a word category can function as a whole other word category. We can think of other examples, such as meeting. You get the word meet, and then you get, that's a root morpheme, and then we get the ing form, that's a bound morpheme. So meet is a verb, and by means of the process of inflection, inflectional morphology, we attach the free morpheme ing to signal progressive aspect. Before we said that inflectional morphology was related to number, agreement, comparison, and now we will add aspect. So we get meet, meeting, fine. Derivational morphology has endowed us with a noun that is derived from the verb meet. Now, meeting can be used both as a verb, meeting, and that's basically the original canonical use of the term meeting, and it can also be used as a noun. Therefore, there is again a conversion that happens with a lot of words. English is a very flexible language. You can use the word man, noun, as a verb to man a place, or people to people a region. The point we want to make here is that some words can be used as converses. That is, they can be used to function as a whole other category. Again, it is controversial whether this is the case of morphology for reasons that we have already expounded, but I think it is at least important to mention the problem and the process conversion. In our next class, we will go over different constituents of grammar, such as sentence, clause, phrase, word, morpheme. We will review them, we will discuss those terms, and we will problematize the categories of sentence and word. It is not so easy to determine where a word is. It's not so easy to determine where a sentence is. And the conclusion that we will reach is that in grammar we will not be dealing with words, we will be dealing with constituents. So words, we're not saying that there are no words in the language. All we're saying is that the word is a unit of writing, because you can see a word when you see the beginning and ending of a stretch of orthography, and you know that the word ends because there is a space. So the word is a unit of writing, therefore it is a visual unit. It's not a unit of grammar. So all the free and bound morphemes that make up words are constituents of the word. And we will see that clauses are constituents of sentences and phrases are constituents of clauses. And as we have just said, morphemes, free and bound, are constituents of words. We go from the morpheme to the word, to the phrase, to the clause, to the sentence. But again, we will discuss that in our next class. These constituents belong to different levels of analysis. More about that in our next class. If you have any comments, please, you can comment below, make questions. Any kind of comment will be welcome, so that we can establish a dialogue and we can go on talking about morphology. Bye bye, see you.